She walked into the room, looked the most dominant woman in WWE straight in the eyes, and said, yes. After months of speculation, sidesteps, political maneuvering, and flat-out mind games, Liv Morgan has finally done what nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, expected her to do. She chose Jade Cargill at Wrestlemania, the biggest stage in the history of professional wrestling. And brother, if you think you know how this story ends, I promise you don't. Welcome back to Wrestling Impact. I'm your host, and today we are diving deep into one of the most explosive, most emotionally charged, most jaw-dropping rivalries building in WWE right now. So sit down, strap in, and do not touch that screen because this story is just getting started. Let's go all the way back to where this fire was first lit. Because nothing great in wrestling happens overnight. Every iconic WrestleMania moment has a backstory, a moment of friction that slowly built into something no one could contain. And this rivalry between Liv Morgan and Jade Cargill is no different. In fact, it might be the most layered, most emotionally complex women's story WWE has ever told, going into the grandest stage of them all. Cast your mind back to when Jade Cargill first arrived in WWE. The reaction was seismic. You could feel the entire locker room shift. She walked through those curtains like she owned not just the arena, but the entire concept of professional wrestling. Jade is 6 feet of pure athletic dominance. She is a walking highlight reel. Every time she steps into a ring, she doesn't just perform, she commands. The crowd doesn't just watch Jade Cargill, they witness her. And from day one, the question wasn't whether Jade would dominate, it was who was brave enough to try and stop her. Most women on that roster quietly did the math and decided the answer wasn't them. And that's not shade, that's survival instinct. Because Jade Cargill is not a regular opponent. She is a generational talent. A force of nature. A woman who looks at a challenge the same way a hurricane looks at a palm tree, with complete and utter indifference. But then there's Liv Morgan. Now here's the thing about Liv that casual fans sometimes underestimate. They see the bubbly personality, the colorful gear, the infectious smile, and they think they understand her. They think Liv is the fun one, the crowd favorite, the girl next door who got lucky a couple of times. And if that's what you think about Liv Morgan, then you have not been paying attention. Because the Liv Morgan standing across from Jade Cargill's shadow right now is not the same woman who debuted years ago. This Liv Morgan has been through the fire. She's been knocked down, counted out, overlooked, underestimated, and dismissed so many times that she's basically built her entire career on proving people wrong. And that's what makes this choice, this moment where she looked at the biggest, most intimidating challenge available to her and said yes, that's what makes it so incredibly powerful. Let's talk about the build-up. Because the path to this decision was not a straight line, it was a maze, a psychological chess match. And both women played it brilliantly. For weeks, there was this unspoken tension. You could see it in the way their paths kept crossing, the way the camera would catch Jade watching Liv from across the arena, arms folded, that signature expression on her face, not quite a smile, not quite a scowl, just this cool, calculated appraisal. Like she was sizing up a storm that hadn't decided which direction to move yet. And Liv? Liv would catch that look, hold it for just a second too long, and then look away, not out of fear, but out of something more dangerous. Strategy. The backstage segments were electric. There was one moment, and if you saw it live you probably felt your stomach drop, where Liv was being interviewed backstage about her WrestleMania plans and someone off camera mentioned Jade's name. And Liv paused. She didn't answer right away. She looked down at the floor for 3 full seconds, which in television time might as well be an eternity, and then she looked back up at the camera and said, and I'm paraphrasing here, I hear a lot of names. What I know is that when WrestleMania comes, I'll be there. And the right opponent will make themselves known. The internet absolutely lost its mind. Because that wasn't a no. That wasn't fear. That was a woman doing the math and not showing her cards. And Jade, to her credit, saw right through it. Her response on social media was ice cold. Just 3 words. She already knows. No exclamation mark. No emoji. Just that. 3 words. And somehow it said everything. The tension kept escalating. Their segments got more intense. There was a confrontation that stopped a whole backstage hallway, people freezing mid-step like someone hit pause on the entire universe when Jade stepped into Liv's path and the 2 women just stood there, inches apart, neither one blinking. No words. No shoving. Just presence. And in wrestling, presence is everything. In that moment, the entire universe shifted just slightly on its axis. And then came the promos. Oh, the promos. Jade cut one of the most chilling promos of her career in the weeks leading up to Liv's decision. She stood in the middle of that ring, looked directly into the camera, and she talked about legacy, about what WrestleMania means, about how there are women who belong in WrestleMania moments and women who just happen to be there. She never said Liv's name, not once, and somehow, that made it 10 times more devastating. The crowd knew exactly who she was talking about. Liv knew. Everyone knew. But here is where Liv Morgan proved she is operating on a completely different level than people give her credit for. She didn't respond that night. She didn't rush to the ring to confront Jade. She didn't post anything on social media. She went completely silent. And that silence was louder than any promo could have been. It let the anticipation breathe. It let people stew in uncertainty. It made Jade and everyone watching wonder, is she scared? Is she planning something? Does she actually want this? And then the answer came. And it didn't come quietly. Liv Morgan appeared on television, looked directly at Jade Cargill, and made the challenge official. Her exact energy in that moment was something television doesn't always capture perfectly, but those of us who were watching felt it in our bones. There was no bravado. No over-the-top theatrics. Just a woman who had made her decision and was at total peace with it. She said she didn't pick Jade because it was smart. She said she didn't pick Jade because management told her to. She picked Jade because if she was going to have the WrestleMania moment she dreamed about since she was a kid, she wanted it to be real. She wanted to face the biggest challenge. She wanted to truly know what she was made of. And the crowd went absolutely ballistic. Not because they expected her to win. Not because they thought Jade was beatable. But because they recognized something rare and beautiful, a competitor choosing the hard road for all the right reasons. That's the stuff legends are made of. Now let's talk about what this match actually means. Because on paper, it's a fantastic wrestling match. Two incredible athletes, two totally different styles, Jade with her power and athleticism, Liv with her speed, her heart, and her uncanny ability to find a way when there seems to be no way. The in-ring chemistry is going to be something special. Wrestling fans who understand the technical side of storytelling know that this contrast, power versus heart, monster versus underdog, is one of the most timeless narratives in the business. And when it's done right, it's transcendent. Jade Cargill's moveset is something that makes coaches and trainers genuinely smile. She is still developing, still adding layers to her game, and yet she is already performing at a level that shuts entire arenas up. When Jade hits her finisher, it doesn't look like a wrestling move. It looks like a verdict. Like the universe itself agreeing that the match is over. She has that rare quality where her offense feels genuinely dangerous, not dangerous in a careless way, but dangerous in a way that makes you feel the stakes. Liv Morgan, on the other hand, is the kind of performer who makes the impossible look inevitable. She is one of the best sellers in WWE, which means she makes whatever her opponent does to her feel real and consequential. But more than that, Liv has this gift for comeback moments. There is something about watching Liv Morgan get absolutely destroyed and then find 1 inch of space to create something extraordinary that makes fans come completely unglued. She is a human roller coaster. And against someone as physically imposing as Jade Cargill, that roller coaster is going to feel like it's going 1,000 miles an hour. The WrestleMania stage will transform this match into something even bigger than the sum of its parts. Because WrestleMania is not just a show. It is a cultural event. It is the place where careers are made, where legacies are cemented, where moments are born that people carry with them for the rest of their lives. The lighting is different at WrestleMania. The crowd is different. The energy pulsing through that building is unlike anything else in professional wrestling. And both Jade Cargill and Liv Morgan are performers who rise to the biggest moments. Think about what each woman has to gain here. For Jade, this is a chance to plant her flag. To have that definitive WrestleMania moment that says